My name is Ken Pearson, and I was invited tonight. Been involved a little bit on the sidelines, but my first project is going to be to do the invocation. So I ask you to bow your heads and think about the things we're thankful for. Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for the health that you've given us of mind and body, so that we're able to come here and work together. I want you to show us your love and mercy so that we can make good decisions that will be good for the community and for you. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I've got roughly 64.
Thank you.
Well, I guess you didn't get rid of me. They asked if I would go through the things that were written down on the 3x5 cards last time. So I'll just read them over so you know what people's interests were. The first bullet is, will a community have an opportunity to vote on all the updates and assessments? That was one of the questions. How can we change rules so the board cannot pass things over the summer? Need to have a majority of homeowners approve. That was the second one. Third one, affordability to all dues. 10% increase, question mark. Keep our HOA fees at $800 as promised when Fosha and Fountain of the Sun were combined. Fourth one, there is a lack of maintenance on the facilities we have. Sprinklers don't work, etc. Take care of what we have! Exclamation point. What about the flooding of green basins? Any of the facilities installed or will be ruined when flooded? The next bullet, we have to remember not HOA, but assessment. Next bullet, to maintain Fountain of the Sun and the standard that we have come to expect. How do you see us moving forward with these expectations and keeping dues reasonable? Question mark. What do you see as affordable dues for our community with our present services? Question mark. Next bullet. Look around the outside neighborhoods. A super fancy gated community will not survive very long. Spend modestly on upgrades. Spend modestly on upgrades. Next bullet. Make south entrance the high priority. Next bullet. Have block captains to set up organization. Next bullet. Really too much on computer for info, as a lot of older people don't have. Every resident should be made aware of what is going on. The last bullet, great agenda. Please keep it positive and good point to avoid just complaining. One suggestion, give an example of a good suggestion and not a complaint. A good suggestion should identify an area that needs improvement and offer a suggested remedy. For example, not everyone has a computer or a smartphone. May I recommend having neighborhood teams visit neighbors who cannot attend the meetings or do not have internet to give them updates on the agenda and ask for their comments and suggestions. That was the end of the remarks that were on the card submitted. And I got involved with the community here, and currently am on the Safety and Security Committee. And one of the things that our group has been talking about is make south entrance a high priority. That seems to be a point of interest for a lot of people. And of course, it's its cost and the funding for the additional security people to be there. But I know that the the emergency vehicles, both fire and ambulance, are interested in that because that would really cut down their time in coming in. And this year, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a lot of people coming in, vendors and visitors to our gate over here, and they were overwhelmed. They couldn't keep up. So they feel that having another one would alleviate some of that problem for them. With that, I'm going to turn the mic over. That we're given tonight already? Okay. Okay. I guess they're still looking for more comments. That's the purpose of this. So I will go around and pass these out, or if there's somebody that would like to help, I would appreciate that. And, okay, thank you. So if you would like to, and the box is up here, Joe?
Then send them around, pass them around and send them to the back.
Okay, okay. So they will be coming too. If you have a written comment, you can put it in the box and they'll pick it up in the back. With that, I don't have anything else on the agenda. And I have to leave to pick up a neighbor at the airport. So if I get up and go out, it's nothing that you said. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
We can't hear that here.
Can't hear the question.
My question was that for the south entrance that you were talking about, how do we make it safe for a turn-only lane to come in? Because we have wrecks up here at a light. So, and there's not going to be a light down there. And is it only going to be, is it going to be for everyone to come in that, same as the front? My question is, how safe is it going to be?
I can't answer that.
Okay, that was my question.
Why don't you write it on your card, please? And then I'll leave that.
Those of you that want cards to fill out, please hold up your hands so we can get this done quicker. Marcia?
We've got plenty of cards here, so we'll just start passing them around, and there are pens also here. Start passing those around. We just want people to be able to write down comments. The comments that are written down, we will read at the next meeting, at each meeting. And later we're going to have people be able to speak on the microphone, come to the front to speak. And Greg is going to moderate that. I would like to just point out to you that we've got a tremendous stack of more questionnaires just turned in tonight. So we're way past 500 participants so far and growing every day.
Good evening. Thanks for everybody for coming. What I really want to talk about now is the quick response team. If those of you who haven't heard of the quick response team, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, is that better? Okay. Quick response team. For those of you that don't know, there's a quick response team for the group here. And what that group does is, if you want to sign up for it, we're going to have a sign-up sheet right up here in the front you can sign up for right after the meeting. What it amounts to is you will get emails, and the quick response team kind of has a round-robin email discussion of topics and what might need to be discussed during the meetings before the meeting. So please, as big as that group could get, the bigger the better. So anybody that will sign up for that, please do. If you want to opt out of it later, they'll let you opt out of it. So please sign up for it. Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready? And I'm
We can do that. Would you like me to pass it around?
Yes.
Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. We want to make sure our boxes go around too, so can we start those around at the same time too? It's for your cards. For the cards, yeah, you write something on the card. We're going to keep you busy here real quick. Okay?
I'm older than you are, so get over there and sit down.
We want as many of you as possible to participate. As I said before many times, and some people aren't getting the message, I am not the leader of this group. I'm a clerk typist, and I'm a communication coordinator, facilitator. I'm just trying to help move things along. But I'm thankful to have Greg Williams and Ken Pearson, good friends who have stepped forward and said they would help. I would like to ask more of you to participate in leading our mutual endeavor. I will take this part of it, however. We have taken the initiative to print up some cards. Some of you may have seen them, business cards. And I'm going to explain what I would recommend that we use these for. We have a couple thousand of them. We're going to pass them around. My friend Don Browning is going to help with that. And these are a two-sided card. You can view it on the website. And of course, here the card. On one side it says, "Have you voted yet?" with 2 questions. On the other side it has, "Please request a copy of the KFA questionnaire and vote for what you want. Please help us to determine what the majority of Fountain of the Sun homeowners want." We are not trying to be an adversarial group. We're trying to have a positive message and encourage people to participate in helping us keep Fountain of the Sun affordable. So please take as many of these cards as you're willing to pass out to neighbors and friends. Pass them out with a questionnaire if you'd like to, or just pass the card out if you see people walking down the street. Give them one of these cards. This simplifies it and keeps it very small. So with that, we'll start passing these around. My role here is primarily to try to find what each of you, what your issues are, what the agenda is, and transfer every comment into either a question or a suggestion or a concern for which you're recommending some course of action, putting it all on a very positive note. Affirmative action in a new way of looking at it, if you will. So as you turn these things in, oh, by the way, when you turn these cards out, put your own personal phone number on the card and ask the people to call you, contact you, so that everybody is facilitating more communication. If they don't call you, there is also our community email address on here and the website, which many of you have probably seen by now, the FOSS Forum website. And that you can go there and everything we're doing, we're putting on this website. Every document, the proposed letter to the Fountain of the Sword, how's that? Fountain of the Sun Board, so that you can review that. And then if you have, one moment please, if you have issues that you don't know how to express, send me an email. I'll be happy to come and meet with you and help write up the item, whatever it is, so we can add it to our agenda. Greg is going to be managing most of the rest of the evening. And we want you to please be sure and come to the front to speak. And speak loudly and clearly into the microphone so that everybody can hear you. It looks like from tonight we've got more than 150 people here. Maybe we need to go to the activity center next time around. We're going to be meeting on the first and third Monday of every month, as long as we can keep this going, because everybody needs to have an opportunity to speak, express themselves, what their ideas are, and we want to make sure that all of those ideas are posted on the website and published, and we want to ask the board of directors for thoughtful responses to every comment. With that, I turn it over to Greg.
Thank you. We're going to let Helen talk about a call list that she's been working on in a call group to set up a call team. So I think it's going to be a very important thing that we can do to help this group out. So
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Great crowd. I wish I could sing. I would sing to it. But as it is, I'm going to bore you with my phone list. Okay. So far, up until tonight, we have 33. Okay, up until tonight, we had 33 homes listed with the phone number. That means there's about 66 people on here, not quite. But I tried to divide that, anyway, forget that. What I would like to do is once we get the phone numbers from the ones that were turned in tonight, try to divide them up into a reasonable amount of people to call and then have a calling team. So any of you that would like to help with the calls, I would greatly appreciate it. In getting this together tonight, I called 3. And then I tried to get this organized as to how I would address you on it. So right now, we have 33 phone numbers to call. As soon as I get the list from Joe or Steve, my email is down. Then I'll get the numbers compiled, and then I will need people to call for the next meeting. We have 6 people that does not have phones or emails. And I thought maybe we could mail out a card at the beginning of each month, which would be 35 cents for the postcard. I have 200 cards with nothing on them that could be used as postcards. So we don't have to buy the postcards, we just need the stamps. And stamps for 6 cards would be $2.10. So I can handle that for a while. Unless we get, if we can stop this from being happening, then I can have the 210. Remind them of the meeting. On the cards it would say KFA meetings. First, put the dates on the first Monday and third Monday, beginning at 7 o'clock. And at this time it would be, well, we wouldn't say fireside room again because we're too big now, thank goodness. So, do I have anybody that would be interested? Pardon me? Is there anyone that would like to hold up their hand to volunteer, and I'll see you after the meeting? Don't all do it at once.
Volunteer for exactly what?
To call. Call people to remind them of the meeting.
Oh,
They don't have an email.
Right, those that don't have an email or a phone. Well, they have a phone we'll call, but some of them send cards out. If I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be out here. Have I made myself clear, or are there any questions? No questions?
Back here.
No, I don't have a question, I'm volunteering.
Yes. Joe just said that you could put your number on the 3x5 card if you would like to be called for help with the calling. Okay,
Are you saying that you have the phone number, but you don't have the email address?
they do not have email.
Okay, so I will volunteer to make some calls if you have the phone number.
Great. Well, my last name is Driggers. I'm in the phone book, and I would be happy to have your help. And I'm going to try to divide the numbers evenly so one person won't have 20 or 30 people to call. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that'd be very important for us to call people that, I know we've had a few neighbors that don't have email, or some of them are even leaving town for the summer, and they may want a phone call. So, anyway, the next thing is, I'd like to just talk for a minute about, there was, in the blast that went out last Friday, it was posted that they're looking for people to be on the Long Range Planning Committee and the Finance Committee. And I think we all want to be encouraged to try and sign up for some of those things, if we can, and help get in on what's going on. The next thing is there were some topics that were actually sent in. I know they asked for topics of what you all wanted to discuss during this meeting. And there was, I guess, 4 responses. So I want to go over those, and we can discuss them if you have. Some of you may have the answers, and I probably don't, so speak up and answer. The first one was, the Holtzman survey did not include many of the important questions and issues that were included in the Keep Fountain of the Sun Affordable questionnaire. So we would wonder if we should give Dr. Holtzman a copy of the results so far from the questionnaire and ask her to make sure that those sentiments are reflected in the report that she will be making. What do you guys think? Let's see. So the clapping was pretty unanimous, a showing of hands of who thinks we should do that. Looks pretty unanimous, so okay. We'll try and add that to the agenda. The next one is in the weekly blast, there was a notice for a FOS board work session at 10:30 a.m. on April 4th. Are those meetings open for residents to attend and observe? Are all FOSA governing meetings supposed to be open to all residents?
Yes.
Do you know, are they open or not?
They're all open except an executive session. Every meeting in Fountain of the Sun is mandated to be as a mandated open meeting by statute.
Yeah, can you, I don't know if everybody can hear you. Can you come up? We couldn't hardly hear you. Thank you.
Thank you.
April 4th at 10:30 a.m.
Hi folks, I'm Dorothy O'Brien. I used to be one of your board members, didn't run this last time. As far as my understanding in executive session and all the meetings that I had heard, all meetings in Fountain of the Sun are open meetings. If you are a committee in here, if you are anything in here, and you are part of Fountain of the Sun, you have an open meeting. The only thing that is not an open meeting is an executive session meeting.
Thank you very much for that.
They didn't know anything about Robert's Rules of Order. I know they asked them if we merged with the other people voting with Robert's Rules of Order. They don't know it. They didn't use Robert's Rules of Order.
When I was given the instructions, and I can only speak for me, I knew what Robert's Rules of Order were because I was taught that in school. So I can't speak for other board members. I was given a packet that said this is what the statute is, this is what the rules are. I was given a big binder, I was given the Arizona State statute, which was a book about this big, and I read it. I went home and read the statute. So I became familiar, at least to be able to ask good questions. I think that the board always acts as best they can. There are times that there are challenges, but the community is the one that selected the board. The community had every opportunity to run for a board member. If you chose not to run, and you're unhappy with what you have, then I suggest you put your application in for the next board and participate. Come to the meetings. I would love to go to all the meetings, but I work. I get to work at 6 in the morning, I don't get home until 6 at night. So when I was on the board, I had to take vacation days to serve you. That was a personal choice. I didn't run for this board. I have my own reasons for that. I may ask to be on one of the committees. I hope to see everybody here run for one of the open committees, because I think if you have concerns, you need to be at the committee and you need to be on the committee.
Robert's Rules of Order has to deal with running the meeting.
Joe has been questioning on this stuff, and my background is pretty much Minnesota, but believe it or not, the rules are kind of the same, whether you're in Arizona or Minnesota. And one of the things, the topics Joe wanted to know about was the executive sessions. And what Dorothy just told you is correct. All the meetings are open, except an executive session. And when you look through the state statutes, if they call an executive session, which can be done at an open meeting, one of their general meetings, or it can be an advertised meeting. And they have to, when they post that, or when they say in the meeting they're going to close for an executive session, they have to refer to the statute number of why they're adjourning that meeting, so it's private, so people can't hear what's going on. Generally, the ones I've been involved with are personnel issues, where you don't want people's names scattered all over for whatever reason. Anyhow, that's, so what Dorothy told you is true on the meetings. So now, they have a session coming up, and I think they're still taking sign-ups for that. The board is having this work session that the lady, the planner that's been doing this, she's having a work session, and it's April 4th at 3rd. Yes, it's this week, and I think you can still sign up for that. But they're going to take the stuff that she collected from all of these interviews, and she's going to assign tables to work on those subjects, and then they'll make a presentation, and then she'll pass that on to the board to be used in their decision meeting. So that's, any other question, Joe?
Thank you for that information. Next we had was someone recently inquired about $4,000 being paid by FASA to the Fountain of the Sun Country Club for water for the green spaces within Fountain of the Sun. But no watering was done, the green spaces are now mostly dry and dead. How can we find out if that money was actually paid and why no watering was done? I don't know, yes?
Maybe I could see someone. Spread some light. Well, that was. Okay, fine, exactly. I was involved with the country club and with the homeowners association in working out our water agreement with the country club. And what's happened over the decades is the country club, at least the past few boards, they were not aware of the 83 agreement. And the 83 agreement simply guarantees Fountain of the Sun, FASA now, water indefinitely at a specific cost. And that cost is the cost of the power to run the pump, increased or decreased annually by SRP. Over the decades, that kind of got lost. So at some point, the country club, about 10 years ago, substantially increased their fee. And there were heated discussions at that time. I'm aware of this because my brother-in-law was Ed Fuss. A lot of you knew Ed, and he was very involved at that time. He was the president of the Homeowners Association. And there were heated discussions with the country club on the subject. Now, since then, everyone has been educated, and John Millar put out information going back to when these increases started, and came up with a chart that shows what we are paying and what we should be paying. With all that said, the board, this goes back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, time goes fast, the board decided not to continue the watering of the green areas. And that was after the well that was caused by the well breaking down. So it took, what, almost a full year for the country club and $130,000 to replace that well. And then at that point, they simply didn't decide to continue the watering of those green areas. And the cost of that watering is still in contention at the present time. And it's something that the country club and the FASA board are currently working on. Should be resolved in the next few months. I'm no longer on the board, so I'm just giving you this from past experience. And the decision was made by the board to not go ahead with the watering and the seeding and the overseeding and so forth. I couldn't say whether that's right or wrong. My feeling at the time I was on the board is that it should be something that the community should vote on as opposed to a 7-member board. With that said, the city of Mesa strongly encourages Fountain of the Sun to go to xeriscape. Now, there are a number of reasons for that. I don't know how many news junkies there are here, but the drought and the water problems for the Southwest are in the newspaper almost daily. And these are just a few of the things. The current water level at Lake Mead is 1,090.27. Now, when Lake Mead gets to 1075, it's no longer an option for us to make a decision on watering those green areas. The federal government will then take charge. And it's anticipated that that may happen as soon as next year. At 1,045 feet, the hydroelectric power no longer works at Lake Mead. And at 885, water is no longer available from Lake Mead. So where do we get our water here? We don't get it from the canals. We get it from that single pump over off Pueblo. And when they replaced the well system there, they had to lower that new pump by 100 feet over where it was. So the decision to water and/or spend over $30,000 a year to grow lush green Iowa grass in a desert, in a drought, I personally wouldn't want to make that decision. So that's the bulk of the answer on that. There were a couple of things. I'm really impressed with the crowd here. Truly impressed. I think it's a great idea. Fountain of Sun, freedom of speech, excellent. There is an error here. It says the power to raise HOA fees at least 10% every year was given to the board by residents in the last vote, and that's incorrect. It's always been there. It was in the old bylaws. It's been there since at least 1992. The next thing is the $25 million for what I feel is a pipe dream at this point. And that you can't do that without a community vote. So everybody in here, who wants to spend $25 million?
None of us.
Nobody. Community votes right there. So you'd have to vote good. The last thing is something we're working on currently. I'm on the infrastructure committee, and we are working on doing exactly, or just about exactly as this is outlined, and that is video recording and hopefully even opening up a channel on your television so you can view the board meetings from your home.
Thank you. That was a lot of good information there for us to hear tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for stepping up. Really.
Can't hear back here.
Can't hear. Give them the speaker so we can hear.
We just had a complaint that there's too many people in this room. He did, however, say we could stay here tonight, that we perhaps should get a bigger room. No. I would say we're probably going to be another 45 minutes. Half hour? Half hour?
Sanctuary community here. We don't have to follow.
Well, we're like in 3 different rooms. This is one. Well, cut this off just as quick as I can. Then we'll have the next meeting.
We're only going to get another 20 minutes. We end at 8 o'clock.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We're only going to be another 20 minutes.
Now from here.
Yeah, we'll just be another 20 minutes. This is a high-grade problem. You have too many people. It's a wonderful problem.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be that long. I think we'll be 20. We'll be 20 minutes. Anyway, I guess that's a bad problem to have, but it's a good problem to have too for us too. Anyway, the next one here, but since we were talking on the board, one thing, and I know you all know, but I'm being fairly new here, surprised to learn that on our board, that anytime they have a vote or election, that it only takes 30% of the residents to make a quorum. I was shocked by that. And it only takes 50% plus one vote to pass something. So anyway, just Just throwing that out there. The next thing we had, there was a card that information for was what does the FOSA Board of Directors, or why does the FOSA Board of Directors not publish any suggestions that have been submitted in the suggestion boxes in the administration building and the activity center? Should any such submissions be published with answers by the board? I think that's a pretty good question. We probably need to go to a board meeting and ask them that, right? That's what I would say. That's everything we've got, other than the fact of opening up to some questions. But I do think that what we're saying about the board meeting, I think it's going to be real important that all of us do go to the board meeting. So we need to be there and attend, and we need to ask them these questions. So, you want to open the floor up? You have them come forward. If you want to speak, just come up to the front here, and we'll give you the mic, and let's open the floor up. Nobody? I'm sorry? Yeah, he's got the paper right there.
Yeah.
I just picked the picture up before I came in here. I see the next board meeting is Monday. Monday at 1 p.m. And I think everyone that can be there. I think everybody that can be there should be there, because I think we need to tell them. I'm sorry? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. I think it's at the activity center. It's at the activity center. I think the thing that they need to be aware of is that people are interested in keeping the association fees down. And I think that we should have a goal. I've always felt we should have a goal. They told us it would be less because Pasha and Fausto are together now. And I would like to see at least down to $800 next year. I think that would be, and I think they need to know about it now so that they can, spend money accordingly through the summer when a lot of people are gone. So I really think they need to know what we're planning on. Turning it back to you.
Yep, come up.
One of the things about this people here, I can talk about it.
No, you can't.
Oh, use the mic.
Anyhow. Okay. I think the fire department chooses a number, and they have to enforce that. Earlier, we said we didn't want to be adverse, whatever. That is just plain bull, because we have people in this community that if you don't do what they want, they do everything to upset. Now, as a passive law enforcement officer, that's bullshit. Okay? And you get the fire chief down here, and they can determine if we're overcrowded. What? Well, okay, this privacy doesn't cut it. You are entitled to confront an accuser, and unless that's changed, don't pick on this guy that sits here. Don't pick on the guy that sits here because somebody set him up. He probably is thinking, I'm glad to get out of there.
There needs to be a sign posted of the acceptable number of bodies in each one of these rooms, and that needs to be posted on the wall.
We'll get it there.
With the turnout that we have tonight, we all have to be at the next board meeting. That's the only thing we have to do, because they get their 20 or 30 guys on their side that want to sit right in the middle and everything is rah, rah, rah. They don't listen to any of us, so we have to be at the board meetings. Period.
Thank you for that. Somebody else? I think so. Are we going to try and get the activity center? We're going to try and get the activity center. Yeah.
We are booked for this.
Leslie Booth, 842 South 79th Way. I just have a question about if the green belts can't be watered, why are the condominiums watered?
Different. Unless somebody knows the answer, that'll be another question for us to ask at the board meeting.
They pay for it.
Yeah, they pay higher HOA fees.
Any more comments? Anyone? No?
All right, I'm going to make a nuisance of myself one more time. We've talked about the draft letter to send to the FOSSA board to let them know where a significant number of members of this community stand. Some folks have said we need to get 1,000 signatures before we send that letter. Some others have said we should send it immediately. We have a new approach to consider. I have a draft letter here that would be a cover letter that I want to read to you and see get your vote on this. This would be a letter addressed to the 7 board members, to each of them individually, and mailed by first-class mail, not certified mail, and it reads as follows. This letter is to inform you, the Fountain of the Sun Board of Directors, of some of the major concerns that a very large and rapidly growing coalition of Fountain of the Sun homeowners and condo owners, more than 500 so far, now have. While this letter does not portend any legal action yet being considered, the purpose of this letter is to express the fact that many hundreds of Fountain of the Sun owners strongly disapprove of many of the decisions and actions of the FOSSA Board of Directors has taken and proposed, and to request a written response to each of these items mentioned in the attached initial letter draft. Our list of issues, questions, concerns, and suggestions will be further refined and expanded in the future, and we will respectfully request your timely responses as the best basis for going forward. Respectfully signed, and we're going to ask for someone to step up and volunteer to be the secretary of our group and have one person sign it on behalf of all of us. We inquired about having an attorney sign this letter, and he wanted to charge $500 to sign the letter, so we don't need that. We would attach to the letter then the original March 4th letter to the FOSSA board, plus a copy of the KFA questionnaire and the initial results so far that has been published. Now, we know that the board is monitoring our website and seeing what's going on there, but we feel we should send this to the board as a written letter and request written responses to the various items that were in that letter. Each of the 7 members send 7 letters to one, the letter and the attachments to each of the board members. Now, we could wait and keep collecting signatures, and we would like to do that. We have, one moment please. We have a lot of signatures. I've got 4 pages of signatures, and we can keep collecting signatures, and I hope we will. I hope many of you here tonight who haven't signed this letter will. But it would be more efficient if we just send a letter with one person volunteering to be the secretary to do that. So first of all, we'll have a show of hands on how many people feel that it would be prudent to send that letter immediately, and the second vote will be a show of hands how many people we should feel we should wait and get 1,000 signatures first. We have a question back
I
here.
do. The part where it was the legal, we're not taking legal action, to me, I think that should be taken out because right there, it puts them at a defense. I just don't like that
I
terminology
don't
in
know if people
there.
heard this.
Go up there and talk.
Did everybody hear what she said? Yep, you said no. No. Okay, what she's saying is that she thought the part that Joe read in the letter about the legal, not taking any legal steps at this time should be removed from that letter.
Yes.
That it
because-
might put someone on the defensive, just maybe they're thinking that we're insinuating that we are.
That was serious.
But
So-
unless you're ready to pay attorney
I'm
fees,
ready to put something in.
you better ask everybody.
We'll take a vote.
Because that's
First of
the
all,
problem here.
we'll take a vote
There's
two
some people
ways.
that are
We'll take a
willing to
vote to
pay
find out
it.
how many people feel that the letter should be sent right away, how many people feel that we want to wait for some other time to send the letter. Then secondly, we will vote on the issue of the legal question. So first of all, show of hands, how many people feel that it would be prudent to go ahead and send this letter now? All right, hands down. How many people feel that we should wait to send the letter for some later time? Go ahead. Okay, a few people do. We understand that. What I would request is this. Please submit a comment to us explaining why you feel that we should wait to write the letter, to send the letter, and we will post the description of the reasons why waiting for the letter so that everybody can see it. It'll all be on the website. Now, the second issue is, should we make a legal overture, a threat of a legal overture as part of the letter now, or should we simply send it as a letter of information with no legal threat? How many people feel that we should send it with a legal threat? Okay, how many people feel that we should send it as a letter of information? All right. I think we need to proceed on that basis, but we want everybody's thought, consideration to be taken into consideration, and we will post all that information on the website and make it available in print for people who don't have access to the website, if they will simply call or let us know that you want the information. We don't want any railroading here. There's enough railroading going on elsewhere.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll sign the letter for 200.
Good one, Larry. I'd do it for, well, no, I would do it for, let's have an auction. All right, look, we've gotten through this meeting in 55 minutes, not bad, huh? So we'll stay and let people converse and talk and comment as much as they want to, keep coming forward, but what we're gonna do is adjourn so that people can leave if they want to, but we'll stay and talk, so come on forward.
How many of you folks are gonna be here 2 weeks from now? Oh, I guess we better vote. Thank you, thank you.
I've got something to say. I went around and checked this room and all 3 rooms. And the only sign that says anything is 56. Is that for this room or is that for all 3 rooms? And if there is, it doesn't say all 3 rooms, it's right here on 56. So that's all it says. So if we've got 2 extra rooms, we can say people are in there and we can move them in there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.